Today, Taylor Russell talks about her 4-H beef project and how 4-H membership has become a family affair. Next, Burke Teicher discusses benefits of managing grasslands using planned, time-controlled grazing. Then Cooner Feedlot's General Manager Nolan Stone tells how the feedlot showcases their day-to-day operations by hosting more than 100 tour groups each year. And finally, in our Healthy Yard segment, learn how to bring color into your winter home with amaryllis bulbs. Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
My name's Taylor Russell. I've been in 4-H for 6 years, and I'm in the Riverside 4-H Club in Shawnee County. I do a lot of different projects in 4-H. One of them is the beef project, and in the beef project, I show heifers and steers, and I also show sheep, but my beef project is my favorite. I started 4-H when I was 6, and I took a bucket calf for my first year. And then since then, I took her as a breeding heifer, and then my sister took one of her calves this past year, and I've taken cows from our own herd, and so I have my own little 2-cow herd going on. My parents both were in 4-H, and my grandparents were in 4-H. It was just kind of a family tradition type of thing, so they got me in 4-H when I was little, and I've been in 4-H ever since then. Okay. When you show a heifer or a steer, you want to make sure that they're getting the right nutrition and feed. When you're showing them, you want to look at the judge. He looks for, depending on what class, if you're in showmanship, he's looking at how well you show the animal and a little bit of how the animal reacts to you, how well you've worked with the animal, how much knowledge you have on your animal. And when you're in your classes, like Angus heifers or whatever, he looks for how well the heifers are built and how he thinks that they're going to produce. Or in a steer, he's going to look at how much meat he has on his body, how big and wide his frame is, and different things like that.
I'm Carson, and I show at the fair too, and I go to 4-H camp, and we get to do a lot of fun things at 4-H camp. We get to do horseback riding, we get to go swimming, and I get to go swimming in the pool. This year it was new. I've been in 4-H for 4 years, and on my first year, I showed a bucket calf, and this year was my first year showing a big steer and a heifer. I have to tame them down. I have to feed them, brush them to make them look nice, and I set them up with a show stick. We get our steers like in the winter time to get them ready to be tamed down, and they will know how to do everything.
4-H is a lot of fun, and if you would like to get involved, you can contact your local extension office. They will be able to help you and get you to a club that you can participate, so that you'll be able to participate in 4-H. It's not just for country people. There's a lot of activities that city people can do too. You can participate in 4-H from when you turn 5 till you're 18.
The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine is a leader in food animal research and education. Our researchers are constantly expanding the knowledge of animal health and food safety. Through the Veterinary Health Center and the Kansas State Veterinary Diagnostic Lab, we provide practical services for animal producers. Home of the Beef Cattle Institute, the college is committed to animal welfare training and research. The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine, knowledge and service for the future of animal production.
This hog is head over hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at BeyondTheElevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Hi, I'm Deb Beisel, and welcome to Historic Topeka Cemetery. Behind me is the grave of Alfred Gray, Secretary of Agriculture. That beautiful monument was dedicated to him by the grateful citizens of Kansas, and you can learn more about his story and those other folks who have done so much for Kansas agriculture by joining the Friends of Historic Topeka Cemetery.
In a feedlot situation, we use multi-min on arrival basis. Maybe if they came in a little lighter weight, 550, 600 pounds. We use multi-min on high-stress cattle, high-risk cattle. We're looking for a better response to our vaccine. Or some of the cattle that we're looking for when we use multi-min, they come in, maybe they look a little mineral deficient. They come from parts of the country that are lower in certain mineral. So we use it on those cattle. Tends to make a big difference.
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by Tarwater Farm and Home. Come on by, we'll treat you like family.
My name is Burke Teichert. I was an invited speaker today at the Kansas Livestock Association. My talk was about managing grasslands and rangelands in this time of recovery from drought so that people can manage maybe for a higher stocking rate and be able to run more cattle, given that some of our acres have been lost to corn and soybeans, and we're attempting to rebuild herd. And one of the ways that maybe ranchers can do that is to run more cattle on the land they have. So I pointed out a number of things that I think are important. First of all, I like to use time-controlled grazing. And that works on ecological principles, water cycle, mineral cycle, sunlight energy flow, and biological succession. And to implement that, I use, or to affect those ecological processes, I like to use planned time-controlled grazing. And what planned time-controlled grazing means is that I plan it with time and timing in mind. Time being, how long does the animal stay on a pasture in this graze period, and then how long does the pasture get to recover before I come back and graze it again. Timing has to do with the time in the year or the season when I use it. And I don't want to use the same pasture twice in successive years at the same season, because some grasses want to grow at certain seasons, and if I graze them this year when they're trying hard to grow, I would like to avoid that next year so that that plant can really grow and reach more of a maturity. Now that might differ a little in really high rainfall areas where the rainfall is dependable, or it might vary in an area where you can irrigate. I might not follow that principle of timing quite so closely. But the length of graze and then the length of the subsequent recovery is extremely important. And I link all of our production in agriculture, whether it be farm production, producing a crop, or animal production, producing animals and weight gain on animals, fertility rates on animals. As I've gotten older, I've just learned more and more that I need to link that to the health of the soil. And so I want to do things to continually feed material back to the soil. And 85 to 90% of what goes in a cow's mouth comes out the other end, and that can become soil fertility for the next generation of plant growth. I don't want the animals to eat all of the feed that's out there. I want them to trample some and put it on the soil surface. Litter on the soil surface will encourage infiltration, and there's been many studies that have shown a covered soil enhances water infiltration. So the soil will accept more water, and then soil microbial activity will take that material, eat it as part of their diet, carry it into the soil. It becomes organic matter and eventually becomes humus. And humus, or a gram of humus, will hold 20 grams of water, holds 20 times its weight in water. So the more humus and organic matter you can get into the soil, the more water holding capability you have. And if I get, say, 30 inches of rainfall, and if only 20% of it is effective, or maybe only 15 inches of that is effective because of runoff and evaporation, if I have a good soil cover, I get more of that water into the soil rather than having it run off or evaporate. Soil temperature doesn't get as high or as low in a covered soil as it does in a bare soil. So you have less evaporation, you have less young plant exposure or death from winter kill. So that enhances water cycle and mineral cycle. Then if I get more plant growth, and if I can get it through a little greater season of the year, I've developed a solar panel in effect. The solar panel being green photosynthetic leaves. If I can get green up to happen even a day or two earlier in the spring and last a day or two later in the fall, it's a more effective solar panel. If I can encourage depth of rooting, if I can have more leaves, broader leaves, the photosynthesis that can occur as a result of that is just all enhanced. So that's what my grazing strategies are intended to do, are to enhance each one of those ecological processes, make them more effective, make them work better. After the break, we'll talk a little bit more about rangeland management, kind of see where that takes us.
This is the fast track to more jobs and America's energy independence. Advanced performance is here now. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Dr. Dan here. Whether I'm driving up and down the roads covering the state of Kansas, or I'm getting between Riley and Manhattan for my job, I'm driving a Ford truck. I'd like you to come out and visit my friends here at Dick Edwards Ford. They have a truck that'll suit your needs, whether you're looking for power with a Power Stroke diesel, or if you're looking for fuel efficiency with the new EcoBoost engine, they got a truck that's just right for you. They're located 2 miles east of the Town Center Mall in Manhattan, Kansas, and they'll bend over backwards to help you. And I'll see you down the road.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
Roy Fry Western Lifestyles brings the cowboy or cowgirl out in all of us. With a huge selection of must-have items, it doesn't matter if you're shopping for your horse, picking up some Western accessories to add that rustic charm to your home, or simply treating yourself. The knowledge and expertise to dress you your Western best is right here at Roy Fry Western Lifestyles, Highway 24 and Kansas Avenue in Topeka.
At Wildcat Feeds, the only feed that matters is yours. We'll help you manage your feed costs with our custom blended nutrition. For more information, visit us online at wildcatfeeds.com and call us today for our current mineral specials. Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook, or visit us online at sftmeats.com.
My name is Burk Teichert. I was an invited speaker today at the Kansas Livestock Association. We'll talk a little bit more about rangeland management, ecological processes, again being water cycle, mineral cycle, sunlight energy flow, and biological succession. And biological succession just speaks of what happens to the biodiversity when those other processes begin to function better, or if you're mismanaging, when they begin to function worse. And the creatures that fit into a niche will change as the effectiveness of the ecological processes change. Good, efficient biological processes should encourage more biodiversity, whereas poor ecological processes will encourage less biodiversity, all of which yields or has an effect on soil health. And soil health in turn has an effect on rangeland productivity, which in effect has an effect on animal productivity, which in turn produces more consumable things for man. So that's basically what I talked about, and I pointed out some of the things that you can do in range management that will enable you to implement that. That, you know, if you're going to graze with a series of paddocks so you can have rotational grazing, allow recovery, you need a number of paddocks per herd, and you need to have water in each of those paddocks, and water is usually the limiting factor. You have to develop water before you start to do a lot of fencing for cross fencing and for pasture subdivisions. And in my own experience, I started slow but I planned 10, 15 years down the road. If I divided pasture once, I wanted to kind of foresee what it might look like after I've divided it 3 or 4 or 5 times. Not just the one time that I do this year, but what it might look like a good number of years down the road in the future. Where will I have water? Where will I get it from? Where will the fences be? It turns out those fences never ended up exactly where I thought they would be, because when I made the first division, the cattle didn't react to that just exactly as I thought they would, and so when I made the second division, it might not be placed exactly like I thought the first time, but quite often pretty close. Now, in good flat land, you can project very well. In hilly landscapes or mountainous landscapes, you're going to misjudge more often, and that's where most of my experience has been.
American innovation is being driven in places you might not expect by people like Brent Hayek, an Oklahoma family farmer, who recently set a world land speed record in a Ford Super Duty pickup truck powered by renewable B20 biodiesel. Advanced performance is here now, putting America on the fast track to more jobs and energy independence. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Tar Waters has what you need for all seasons for around the farm and home. Working, hunting, growing, feeding, snow removal, even fun for the kids. And a service department with experienced techs to help keep your equipment in top running condition. Tar Waters has a huge selection and the best prices. Tar Water Farm and Home, family owned and operated since 1978. They have what you need.
We've been here for 42 years now. We run around 2,500 cows. I bought a couple loads of cattle black cows out of California. And most of these cows are kind of a off-color, rusty color. We're going to be processing these cows in the next few days, and at that time I will inject Multimin into them to help take care of their copper deficiency. I would recommend Multimin to any cowman. It's been effective.
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.
Driving up to the Kuhner feedlot in northeast Colorado, visitors may notice a sign that says, "No public tours." But that's more of an artifact than a rule at the 100,000 head yard. This year, they hosted more than 100 groups at Kuhner, which is one of the 12 feedlots in the JBS Five Rivers group.
I think we've realized that we don't have anything to hide, that we can show people what progressive, beef production looks like, and that if there is something they think we could do better, we tell them all, let us know, and we want to do the best we can, and we want you to see our animals. They're healthy, happy, our employees like to be there, and we're proud of what we do, and don't feel any shame in showing anybody that.
Tours ramped up after Five Rivers completely renovated the lot in 2010. Since then, they've added a full-time tour guide, and Stone says they try to accommodate requests that include everyone from customers and industry partners to teacher groups and the World Wildlife Fund. It takes about 45 minutes to get to Kuner from the Denver airport, so that proximity is a big draw.
And so it works pretty well for people to fly in for meetings in Denver with NCBA or USMEF and then come to the feed yard and see a feedlot. And also couple that with Greeley, JBS plant in Greeley, just down the road, 18 miles from us. People can spend half a day and see a good packing plant and a good feed yard.
Whether they come in a single SUV or by the busful, Stone says his crew is happy to showcase their day-to-day operations and spread awareness about the cattle feeding business.
We have a beautiful facility, and all the folks that work there care about the cattle and like their jobs, and we're glad to show people that.
I'm BJ Scott.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome. At Wildcat Feeds, the only feed that matters is yours. We'll help you manage your feed costs with our custom blended nutrition. For more information, visit us online at wildcatfeeds.com and call us today for our current mineral specials. Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
Hi, I'm Deb Beisel and welcome to Historic Topeka Cemetery. Behind me is the grave of Alfred Gray, Secretary of Agriculture. That beautiful monument was dedicated to him by the grateful citizens of Kansas, and you can learn more about his story and those other folks who have done so much for Kansas agriculture by joining the Friends of Historic Topeka Cemetery.
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by Premier Farm and Home. Stop by or visit us at haycow.com.
And amaryllis might be the great choice for you. They come in a variety of colors, pinks, variegateds, reds, whites. A lot of times you'll see them maybe in a kit where you have the bulb, the container, and a package of potting soil that's all ready to go. So this is a nice gift or an easy way to get started with amaryllis. You can also just buy the bulbs by themselves. The bigger the bulb you can afford, go for that one, because it will often actually send 2 flower shoots if you have a nice big bulb. Get a pot that's just slightly larger than the bulb. So here we have a bulb that's fairly good size. It's only going to be about a ½ inch or so on either side of that bulb. And part of the reason of that is amaryllis bulbs don't like to be too wet. So we don't want to have a lot of soil mass that's going to stay wet and cause root damage to our bulb. So we're going to place some soil in our container, and we're actually going to keep this bulb pretty high in the pot. We're going to have maybe 1/3 to 1/2 of the bulb actually exposed. I'm just going to pack that in, and then we're going to give it a little drink of water. You're going to water it well to make sure that we thoroughly saturate that soil mass, and then you're going to wait until the shoot starts to grow before you water it again. We're going to place this in a nice sunny area, and within 4 to 6 weeks you'll have a beautiful blooming plant that you can enjoy in your home. So when you're thinking about plants for your home this winter, consider an amaryllis. They're easy to grow, they're a lot of fun, and they provide a beautiful pop of color for your winter interior.
For more information, visit your local extension office or visit our website at kansasgreenyards.org.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.